Okay, so today I am back for another recipe, and we are going to make a marinara sauce with some ground up sausage and rigatoni with some parmesan or reggiano cheese on top. This is going to be fantastic. So what I'm going to do here is I have these beautiful Roma tomatoes. They were washed twice. Basically put them in a pot, wash them off, just kind of do this thing, rinse them, and then wash them again. Just how I do it. I just like my tomatoes really clean. So then we're going to boil these. If you've never boiled your own tomatoes or made your own tomato sauce like this, I'm going to show you how to do it. That's what I try to do on my channel, is to educate you guys a little bit, and just in case you haven't done it like this before, I'm here to let you know how to do it. So pot of water, wash twice. We have Roma tomatoes. We're going to boil these tomatoes until the skin starts to peel. Once the skin peels or cracks, tomatoes are done. We shut them off, we let them cool, we peel the tomatoes, we take the ends off them, and then we squeeze those through a strainer into another bowl, and that is our tomato sauce. And then we'll show you how to move forward from there. Very easy recipe. Anybody can make this. Anybody. Don't be afraid to make your own sauce. You can also use plum whole tomatoes out of a can. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just have a little extra time today. That's why I'm doing it like this. But don't be afraid to use a canned tomato. Canned plum tomatoes of your choice, doesn't matter which ones you use. So we're going to get on with the recipe. We're going to get these to a boil, and we're going to wait for the skins to crack on these, and then we're going to remove them. And like I said, get your cooking utensils out. Anybody can make this. Come on and join me for this one. All right, so we have our tomatoes. These are boiling, and you can see what I was talking about. This is the stage that you want to get these at. You just want to make sure that your tomatoes, if you can see that, see how they split right here? That's what you're looking for. So when all of your tomatoes split, then your tomatoes are done. And you can see them right here, they split, and you can just take the skin and peel them back. That's what you're looking for. Makes the job a whole bunch easier. These are almost done. We got just a couple of more to open up. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to transfer these tomatoes to, these tomatoes are beautiful too. We're just going to transfer these to a bowl, and we're going to let these cool down. And then we're going to cut these open. See, they split right open. All right. Beautiful homemade tomato sauce, homemade marinara sauce. Another one that's split open. Okay, don't be afraid to do this. Like I said, cooking's only what you make of it. You don't have to be a mastermind. It does help to know your seasonings and stuff like that, but this isn't rocket science, folks. Anybody can do this, and your flavoring is all what you make of it. Whatever kind of flavoring you like is the flavors that you put in. There's basic Italian seasonings that you do need to use to make a marinara sauce. You wouldn't put cinnamon in this, right? But you got to kind of stick with the program. But yeah, don't hesitate to get in the kitchen and make this. All right, so our last one has opened up. So we're going to put these all in a bowl, and I'm going to set these aside, and we're going to get on to the next step. We're going to grind up some sausage here for our next step. Okay, I'll see you in 1 second. All right, so we're on now to make the sausage, ground up some sausage. So I just have a pound of ground up sausage, a very hot skillet. So this is going to sizzle when you put it in, just like that. And we're going to cook this until this is done, obviously. But we're going to cook this. Let's probably take about 5 minutes or so. You want to break this up. So we do have we do have tools for this. You can break it up with a wooden spoon, like you see me doing, or if you can't break it up to where you need it, there's also another tool that that you can buy that actually kind of chops this up a little bit more than a wooden spoon. But this is probably five minutes. You just want to cook this through, and then we're going to transfer this. We're going to transfer this to another bowl. So we'll keep frying this. I guarantee you guys are going to like this. Now, hey, if you don't like sausage, you know, you can do ground beef if you want to. You know, you don't have to put any meat in it or not. You can just turn around and make your sauce and put that over some rigatoni or thin spaghetti, or, you know, whatever you want. You don't necessarily have to do this, but this is just the way, once again, that I like it. And like I say in most of my videos, you know, all these recipes are versatile. You do have the basics that you need to use, but I mean, you can make this any way you want. You can see how fast this is browning, so we're just going to leave this here for a second. Not play with it. Get the bottom all nice and brown. Again, you know, medium heat on this, and yeah, just let it go, really. Okay, when it gets nice and brown on the bottom. There you go. We'll turn that a few more times, and this should be done. Just kind of break it up so there's no big pieces. You know, remember, this is going to go in the sauce, so, you know, if you want to chomp on a big piece of sausage or ground beef, that's up to you. You chop it how you want it. Just try to go halfway in the middle of it, so we're not getting, you know, a huge chunk. All right, so I'll be back as soon as this is done. So our ground sausage is almost done. This is a hot sausage, not a sweet sausage. I didn't know if I mentioned that or not, but this is almost done. This is kind of how you're looking for it. Like I said, medium to high heat to cook this up. So this is about it right here. So we're gonna kill the heat on this, and we're gonna transfer this to another bowl, and I do pour the you know, the grease and everything in there, because I'll pull that out later. So there's our ground beef our ground sausage for our marinara sauce. Next, I'm going to show you how to peel these tomatoes. All right, so it is time to do our tomatoes. Beautiful tomatoes. These tomatoes look absolutely fantastic. Okay. So I didn't know if I mentioned in the beginning, this is about 2 pounds of Roma tomatoes. So look at it, it's just this easy. Look, right? You just pull the skin off. They come right off, right? And then you're going to take this. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Everybody don't want to get their hands dirty when they cook. Get your hands dirty. It's good for you. All right, and then all we're going to do is, I also have a strainer here. As you can see, I strain these just because I don't want like all the seeds, and you know, as much as I, you know, if you have stomach issues or whatever, then you probably don't want the seeds. The rest of it, you use it. You know, it's hard to get some of the seeds out, but you know, if you just keep squeezing and squeezing, you'll get that through. You know, this may be a little bit of a pain, but you'll come up with your sauce. Basically, you just try to get most of these seeds out of here, and you just keep following suit. You just keep rolling with it, and then just keep squeezing. You know, just. You'll see like the first squeeze, the second squeeze, that'll all be, a lot of that'll be just a lot of that will just be your seeds and stuff like that. But we'll keep going with this. I'll squeeze these all out, and then I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. You don't want the the hard parts or whatever, but this is what you're looking to do. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish these up, and we'll probably season these up a little bit, and then we'll go to the next step, which is very, very simple. We're actually not too far away from being done, so hang in there and we'll show you what's next. Okay, so all we're going to do now is we're just going to slice up some garlic for the sauce, and you can dice this if you want to. I just kind of slice it, because when we saute this, it'll break down, not too much, but this is kind of how I do it. Looks like quite a bit of garlic. I use like five cloves. If you don't like a lot of garlic, don't put a lot of garlic in. A lot of marinara sauces, depends on how you do it. I'm sure that there's different ways of doing marinara sauce too, but this is just the way that I do it. So we have our, okay, so I think that's enough. We're going to leave this one out, and we're going to take this over and we're going to start the sauce. I'm going to show you how to do that in 1 second. All right, so we're on to the sauce now. So we're going to take about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil, and we're going to coat the bottom of the pan, maybe a little bit more than that. That's about good, about 1/3 of a cup, 1/3 to 1/2. We're going to let this heat up, and then we're going to, this ain't going to take long to heat up, so I think I'm just going to keep you guys with me on this one. So we're just going to let this heat up a little bit, and but we're going to put the garlic in now, okay? Because if you put the garlic in while the oil is already hot, that's going to burn, and you don't want that to burn. If you have that start to burn and start to become really, you can see that it's almost getting there right now. You can see it's starting to sizzle a little bit. Now you don't want to get that, again, like I was saying, if the oil is hot and you put the garlic in while it's hot, it's going to turn really brown. It's going to let off a chemical called allicin, and it's very, very bitter. So I try not to do that. Maybe some folks like that, but I'm not a fan, so I don't do that. So with this, all we're going to do here is just get this garlic. We're just going to get it until it's fragrant, right? When you smell it, that's it. Then we're done. So it only takes just a couple of seconds here. We have the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes that I peeled and squeezed. Mostly no seeds in that. So you're going to get a couple. Okay, so this now has become fragrant. So it's time now to. So you don't want the garlic brown, which it's not. It's still white. I mean, you can watch for it in there. As soon as the edge starts turning, then that's it. You get a little bit of fragrancy, and you get you get a little bit of discoloration. But we're not looking for actual brown garlic. Don't do that to your garlic, because it's going to become very, very bitter. So just keep your eye on it, and in a second here we're gonna pour this sauce in here. Okay, so I start seeing a few pieces now starting to just about turn in color. So now the sauce goes in, and that'll stop basically the cooking process from the garlic. So this is going to be a lot of garlic in here. You can see it. It's everywhere, but that's what we're looking for. Next, we're going to throw. These are all about a tablespoon. I'm going to eye it because I just do this a lot. So we're going to go with about a tablespoon of basil. About that. And these don't have to be spot on. You know, this is all if you want to. I'm going to lower the heat on that just a little bit. And then next we got some parsley flakes. We're going to throw about a tablespoon of that in. Again, guys, not really hard. This is not a hard meal to make. So I hope you guys get in the kitchen and make this. And last is the oregano. We're going to put about a tablespoon of oregano in. And then we're gonna let this go. We're gonna let this bubble, and then we're gonna stir it in. And you're gonna see how good this is gonna be. There we go. And that's gonna be our sauce. It's not a dark sauce. It's more of a light sauce because, like I said, it's a marinara. But we're going to cook that down just a little bit. We're going to let that just do its own thing, and then we're going to take this sauce and we're going to pour it in the skillet. I'll show you why I do that in a second. But we're just going to let this bubble away, and we cook this maybe 10-15 minutes just to get the bitterness out of it. Oh, I forgot. I usually never forget, but I always have to put a little salt and a little bit of black pepper. And last but not least, just because I like things spicy, we're going to put about a teaspoon of red pepper flake in that too, just a little bit for some heat, and then we'll taste it. So this is what the sauce looks like. Now you don't want to just keep boiling this. You want it to simmer. There's a lot of spices in it. Again, it's just how I like it. But I would definitely, only because I had time today to do this sauce, I would recommend it if you're short on time. Definitely use a canned plum tomato, and I think it'd work out maybe a little bit better for you guys. But you're going to get a lot of seeds in it. That's the trade-off. This here doesn't really have a lot of seeds in it. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to let this cook down, and then I'm going to transfer it to my skillet over here, and then we're going to get the pasta rolling, and we're going to plate this up. So hang in with me, and we'll get going on the next step. Okay, so as you can see, we're ready to drop the pasta. The first thing that we're going to do here is, because pasta doesn't really have a lot of flavor, is we're going to salt our water, and this will give it just a nice little salty taste to it. It's not going to be overpowering, but salt your water. Okay, so I have a half a pound of rigatoni now. So we're going to drop that, and let's see. You want to, as soon as you drop that, you want to kind of move it around a little bit, because you don't want them to stick, basically. And I use this pasta because I want some of the sauce to stick to the grooves. If I used like a regular spaghetti, a lot of times, because it's a marinara sauce, it'll slide right off the pasta. So I usually use a pasta with a groove in it. You could use, now ziti, it's good because you can, it's got a hole in it, but I usually use anything with a grooved pasta. That usually works out good. So this is going to go down now for 12 to 13 minutes. I do cook my pasta al dente, just the way I like it. I like it a little bit more with a bite to it than a mushy pasta. So the sauce is made, the pasta's down, the ground sausage is done, and we're just waiting for this to take place, and then I'll be back with you guys, and we're going to show you how to put this together. This isn't rocket science. Listen, a lot of people get to a point with cooking, it's like, oh, it's too much work and blah, blah, blah. And, and I guess sometimes it is, but when they see a plate plated up, they think, oh, I can't do that. You can do this. This is not hard. So if you follow this recipe, you'll you'll be good. You'll be good at it. Just to let you know, I cooked, this is a half a pound, so this is 8 ounces of pasta. You could do 4 ounces of pasta, would probably be perfect for the amount of sauce that I made. So keep that in mind too. I used 2 pounds of tomatoes. That's going to probably be very good, spot on for about 4 ounces of pasta, which is a good sized portion of pasta. So we're going to show you the ratio here as soon as I put this stuff in the skillet, and we'll get it all hot, and then we'll plate it up. So we'll be right back in a couple of minutes, and we'll show you how to do that. Okay, so our pasta is done. Let me just taste this a little bit, and yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're just going to drain this. And I just have a bowl here off camera that I'm just gonna put the pasta. Now you can taste that little bit of salt on the pasta too. That's great, from salt in the water. Always salt your water. Do not rinse the pasta at this stage. Everybody, not everybody, but I see a lot of people, they rinse their pasta, and it's just like, if you do that, you get rid of all the starch on the pasta, and then your sauce won't adhere to it. Now there might be some dishes that you want to do that, but I wouldn't really recommend that with a marinara sauce. So I'm gonna opt to not do that this time. So hold on one second, just gotta dump this. Gotta dump that pasta water without getting burned. Okay, so here's how we put it together. This is very simple. This is the sausage that we made earlier. We're gonna put some sausage in the pan. You don't have to use it all, just, a little bit. This is only, like I said, this is only gonna be for like a portion or so. So I'm only gonna probably use about 4 ounces of that 8 ounces of pasta. We're gonna get this good and hot. It's all about keeping your food nice and hot. And then we're gonna pour in the sauce. That pan's nice and hot. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to take that, what I think is very delicious sauce that we made earlier. This has been idling in the back burner for a little bit. We're going to take that. We're going to pour that in. Okay. All right. That's exactly what I was looking for. And that doesn't burn the sauce or anything, but it does get it nice and hot. All right, so we just turn the heat down to low. Tell me that doesn't look good. That looks fantastic. I think it looks fantastic. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add enough pasta for the ratio of the sauce and the sausage that we have. So that'll thicken just a little bit, which is what we want. Okay. So, all right. So we're just going to add the pasta. I think that's probably going to be maybe a little more than 4 ounces, and then we're just going to mix this. Right? This is so simple. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. If you don't like a lot of spices, you don't have to continue with, you don't have to put as much as I did in. But it's all hit or miss. It's all trial. So this is the pasta. We'll just keep this heating for just a little bit. We'll give it a little flip in a second, and then we'll take it over and we'll plate it. Get this good and hot. There we go. You can see it's a light sauce. You got a little bit of chunks of tomato in there, lots of seasoning, lots of garlic, and this may catch a lot of heat for cooking it like this, but that's how I like it. If you have people that live in Calabria or Sicily or something like that, I know they don't use a whole bunch of spices, and they would definitely knock me down for using that much garlic, because they do not use that much garlic. But I guess it's all in how you were raised. My family is an Italian family, and you know, I inherited that. So you know, growing up Italian, you know, you come up with your own flavors. This is what I came up with. This is how I like it. Okay, so we're going to take this over. We're going to plate this, and we're going to show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, so just hang in there for a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back with you to show you how to plate this up. Okay, so look what I got. Some marinara, rigatoni, and hot sausage. So we're just going to put this in a bowl. Put this in a bowl just because it's a little bit more easier to get at. So when it's time to serve that. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so that's the bowl of pasta. So what we're going to do is we're going to now plate this up. Okay. And there's definitely enough here for 2 people, without a doubt. This smells fantastic. So I urge you guys to make this. And then we're gonna top it off with a little bit of Parmesan reggiano, just like that. All right, so that's it. This is how we make our marinara sauce with Parmesan reggiano sausage and rigatoni meal. And you know what I say, don't go out and get it. Make it yourself, get in the kitchen, deal with your food, and you can make a great dish. And that's about it for this one. So if you want it right, cook it yourself. And I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy. You know what? I'm gonna sample this because I have to. It just smells way too good. Okay. This is phenomenal. Oh. Yeah. That's fantastic. Okay. We will see you on the next video. Make this.